girls are wasting it on talking about themselves. Is it a waste of time? Was it a waste of time for us? Was it a waste of time for me? So that's all my blabbing. So here are our panelists. And they're actually sitting in the order that I put them on this thing.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. It's in alphabetical order. So our first is, I'm pronouncing it right, Gala. This is Gala. Then there's Anna, Genevieve, and there's Mark and Sarah. And here's just some links if you want to read them. So I think I'm actually going to let our panelists tell us about their experiences online for a little bit. So we just want to go down. We can start with you.
Okay, hi.
And then we'll have some questions.
Sorry, what?
We'll have some questions when we're older.
Okay. So I started experimenting with the internet Christmas of 1996, and I pretty much started like blogging, journaling, whatever, straight away. And I had a multitude of websites on ridiculous things, like my first ever website was a fan site for the show Daria. Did you guys ever watch that on MTV? I thought that Jane Lane was like the ultimate woman, and so my website was about how hot and awesome she was. And I had a bunch of diaries and journals and stuff, and I lived in New Zealand, so it was a very small web community. There were like 5 girls who journaled online, and we all still know each other and still talk to each other. And yeah, I guess that's kind of a really brief rundown of my early years of the internet.
Hi. I've been on the internet since I was born because my parents were both involved in software, so I've always had a computer, I've always had access to bulletin boards and the internet, and to me it was weird when I would go to school and people wouldn't know what I was talking about, especially in high school. No one knew what the internet was. It was something that only like Star Wars nerds knew about, and I had my first online journal in 1994 when I was 13 or 14, and I stopped doing it for a while, and then I started up again in 1996, 1997, when one of my girlfriends was doing it, and I thought, oh, I want that too. I wanted the attention, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. And I have not stopped. I'm a compulsive online journaler. I write everything down. I put it all up online. I used to code on my own HTML, and I had, an FTP site and all that stuff. And now I just do it on LiveJournal because it's easier, and I'm lazy. But I remember back when online journal sites started becoming really popular in the late 90s, and we had Diaryland and all the Diaryland, and it was the first time that you could password protect an online journal and have it actually be secure.
And do you think that changed how you were journaling? Because all of a sudden you could.
Yeah, I think that absolutely changed how everyone I know journaled. Suddenly, we didn't have to worry about being found out. I remember back in late 97, people I went to high school with found my online journal, and I almost got kicked out of high school for writing about stuff on my online journal. And the only reason I didn't get kicked out was because I graduated before they could do anything. But as soon as password protecting was available, I totally took advantage of that, and suddenly it was a lot easier to be open because I could control who was seeing what I was writing. And I remember you had to email me for the password, and if you had a website, I had to know your website, and I would go and I would like research the people who wanted to read my journal and see who they were. And there was a whole string, I don't know if anybody else did this, but there was a whole string of people who would make sock puppet online journals and write fake journal entries who were like your enemies so that they could get your trust and come in and read your online journal.
I totally did that.
I totally did that too.
Yeah.
I was horrible.
Yeah.
I still do it. I still do it. So yeah, that's me.
Hard act to follow. Hello, I'm Mark, and I started on the internet when I think I was about 13 years old, and I didn't start journaling or diary landing until I was 17, but for me the internet was a really great place to find out a little bit about the fact that I was 13, I was gay, and I came from a really strict Russian Jewish family, so the only way I found out about who I was through porn. And so that was awesome. I grew up on online porn, and then when I was 16, I began doing Diaryland because one of my friends told me about it. And it was great because I was not very popular in high school, and even though I went to an arts high school and I wasn't popular. I just have to point that out.
You're so cute. How can they not love you?
I was not this cute when I was 17. But I started writing about it, and I actually had a false sense of security because I didn't tell anybody what it was. I felt that it was okay to write about anyone. And I would still there was still, until a couple of months ago, if you looked up a classmate's name on Google, the first thing that would pop up was, blah blah is a dumb hoe.
Oh. Nice.
Not anymore. Unfortunately, because she's still a dumb hoe. Just want to tell you. But I can't give out her name because she's very litigious. The thing was that around when I was 17, my friend and I started a website where we actually wanted people to know. It was like a blog, a diary online where we wanted people to know who we were, and we wrote mean things about people in our school and mean things about the administration. And we got suspended for sexual harassment because we wrote a sex column from the point of view of our librarian. That's the only thing that get us on, and they wanted to expel all of us. And that's the first time I recognized how dangerous online diarying could be, how important it was though, because even after I graduated, the only way I could deal with my life sometimes was by writing it down. I lived with a really horrible landlady named Elvira who was super crazy and liked to parade around in her thong and read tarot cards at night and bring 12-year-old boys home to have sex with, not 12, 18, okay? And
18, not 12.
18, not 12. And men who had just come out of prison. And actually, Maria, one of the first times Maria and I met, Maria had read my journal, but she'd never met me, and she thought I was fake. When she met me, she was like, "You exist?"
It was just so out of control, outlandish. He would talk about Elvira, his melody, and I'm like, this dude is fake. He's just writing creatively, but he's real.
And it's
now that I know Mark, I understand.
And it's very helpful because, when I didn't have any friends, when I didn't have a lot of support, when my parents really weren't supporting me because I left the house when I was 18 because I was still gay, going online to LiveJournal and writing, dude, my lady's super crazy and my mailman roommate brings whores home at night, and people would comment and say, "You're super funny," would give me a lot of, validation, would say, continue doing what you're doing because at least you're making somebody laugh. And that's my history with growing up online.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah Wolfeck, and I ran Puce.com in the late 90s and into the early 2000s, and I'm about to be embarrassed. Basically, I am much like Anna. I was I'm the daughter of 2 PhDs in psychology, and I'm an only child, and they taught me Unix at an early age, and I was basically, the way that I got into running my own site was I was a Microsoft Network beta tester in 1995.
This is Sarah's site from
2001.
2001.
Yeah, there it is, great. So in 1995, I was a beta tester for the Microsoft Network and just discovered Justin Hall, and he really should be up here, in my opinion, just because, he was the live your life online guy. When I found his site, I was, 16, and I couldn't believe that there was this guy out there who was really just, talking about everything that he was doing all the time, and he had collected all of these friends that were doing the same thing, and he was involved in a group called Cyberganics that were San Francisco based, and were also doing that. So, and actually Ellie.org and I met through the Microsoft Network too, so we've been friends since way back in the day. But so I started my own site and eventually bought Puce.com after I decided that was going to be my pseudonym. And just, left for college at NYU and was just, had my webcam and my angsty poems and my journal entries and just wrote about everything. And over time, for some reason, I got more and more people following me and was asked to be on Letterman